Hello, friends. It's Gail again. We've been talking about how to have freedom from the fear of rejection. Our earlier videos talked about two of the defenses that we commonly build to protect ourselves against that fear of rejection. And the first one is performing to gain acceptance, a very common defense. Another one is building an invisible wall. Again, no one sees, but we know we're preventing people from knowing what's inside of us. And today I want to talk about a third defense, and it is wearing a mask, an invisible mask, to cover up who we are, and especially to protect us from saying anything, especially about our past or even about our struggles or problems. Let me give you an example, and I use this in my book. My friend Connie and I were both at a women's conference at my church, and I led one of the small group discussions. So at the end of this one session, I said to my friend Connie, "Would you close in prayer?" And she said, "I'd prefer if you asked someone else," which I did. But afterward, I apologized to her. And Connie said, "Oh, it's okay. I don't feel comfortable praying in front of people. It's one of my masks." Intrigued, I said, "I'd like to talk more about that. I really understand about masks." Well, a month or two later, God arranged that we were both volunteering for an event at my church. And so we met in the hallway at the very end. And I said, "Connie, I'm willing to talk together about masks." And she said, "It's complicated." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And so she opened up her heart. Actually, the first time that she ever told a friend about her growing up years. She had an alcoholic and abusive mother. She had a father who was gone most of the week. She felt abandoned by him and really abused by her mother. She didn't let any of her friends know about what she was experiencing at home. Sometimes she would come home, her mother would be either passed out on the couch or would be awake, and she'd say, "Could I visit a friend?" She'd grab her arm, causing a bruise, and say no. So she just stopped asking. So you can understand the isolation of that. So at 18, she moved out, again, never telling anybody about her past. Even when she eventually married her husband, he didn't know for a long time until she needed some therapy. She was in real trouble with panic attacks related to just the hardness, the difficulty of just keeping everything covered up. So she did well in therapy, but when she got out, she put on her mask again. And especially wherever she was outside the house, she covered up. So it was very difficult for her to get past all the stories, all the fears that were holding her back. Because the enemy loves to tell us stories that will keep that fear of rejection fueled. So that's exactly what he was doing with her. But it's interesting, after she told me her whole story and how she still felt that she had nothing to offer, she wasn't worthy, she didn't measure up, she didn't know how to love people, she felt like she didn't even love her husband the way she should, or her children. She dreaded the grandchildren because she didn't think they would love her. So all these were holding her in bondage. She began to get better with some more counseling, but she still was fighting that need to not let people know about her life that she felt so ashamed for. And we know it's not the fault of these children and in the growing up years, but they think that they need to shut off that part of their lives. The interesting thing is God sees behind the mask. He knows exactly how we feel. He has plans for us. He has designed us the way he wants us to be, and he will use us, but not if we stay covered up. I love the verse in Isaiah 43:18 and 19. It says something that I think applies so well to this defense of wearing that invisible mask. He says, "Do not call to mind the former things, nor ponder the things of the past. Behold, I am going to do something new. Will you not be aware of it? I will make even roadways in the wilderness, rivers in the desert." He's proclaiming to us, I am going to use you. You don't need to hide. I know exactly how you feel. I know who you are. And I will take care of all that you have experienced in life. Do you have family or friends that really have caused you to cover up, not reveal problems and struggles, which is only human? Or are there a friend or two that you don't have to wear a mask with? You can consider what is different with that friend. What does she do or say that enables you to feel more comfortable? But the cover up through this invisible mask is again very common, but it isolates people. You're there, you may be smiling, but you're not connected to them because you want to be very careful you don't say anything that would reveal what you feel is a shameful part of your life, or maybe something you've done even as an adult. But it's good to examine these defenses because we build them thinking we're protected, but in actuality, we are imprisoned. We are in hiding. And so no one has a chance to know who the real you is. So as we are considering these defenses, I will have a video series about how to tear down the defenses. And we'll talk again about what to do if we feel we are wearing that invisible mask, because God has some wonderful choices we can make that will help us let go of those things that are keeping us in bondage. So I look forward to another time with you. Bye for now.